Good morning. My name is Osvaldo Vascour, principal in academia and industry, and I would like to share the digital plan template for the process industries that we have been working on with our NewPy system. So the step one, as I described, we need to understand what is the business strategy, and we need to prepare the data, which is basically build the attributes in the digital template and just bring the tags that are going to be valuable for you from a production perspective, consumable perspective, so you can aggregate the data and see the losses or production losses or the costing that you have. The next step that we're going to do today is going to extract the data and visualize it in Power BI and in PyVision, and you are going to see in this exercise how the data is aggregated and the many ways that you have to position that and generate reports. The major objective that I always suggest people is that we are going to see how to maximize the yields for your plant while reducing the operating cost. So we have a lot of raw data that has been collected and is available, but we need to simplify the way to sort it, and we need to do some data classification, and adding the right context is the most important thing, and then classify it according to the operating conditions. So we are going to call, in this example, running okay, meaning that you are on target according to your plan for that day. And then we are going to call it in trouble when you are 10% off from that one. We are going to call it down when the unit went down unscheduled. Idle is when the unit is fine, but you don't have the feed, and then that's something that you have to account, but we are going to track the time when the unit was in an idle time. And the other one is maintenance, when it was scheduled to be there and it's all fine, and that's where you are invested in maintaining your equipment for the maximization of your reliability of your equipment. This will generate tremendous amount of insights. The data that is collected when you are running, we have found by experimentation, by implementation of about 10 customers now, that data becomes extremely valuable to generate sub-sensor and do predictive analytics. We call it metallurgical analytics, process analytics, many names. But the key thing is that it enables you people to have the data available in PyVision and in Power BI to enhance your decision making and the continuous learning by teaching the computer these days how to help you to do your job easier and to make the right decision. So this is an example here of the digital template. You start with a very simple process block diagram, identify the different areas that you want to do. Most of the time here you have to have let's say that you have, in this case, this is a mine, and then you got the stockpile. So here we are looking at the generic digital plant template where we are collecting the data for every area of the plant, which is a block diagram. That's how we call it. And in this case, we got the reagents, the water, the fuel, and the electricity consumption that we are going to be accounting for every area of the plant. And this technology also enables us to do the mass balance, if available, for every area of the plant, so you can have the yield that you have as you move through the process and to generate your, in this case, gold, which is your major product, the disposal of your tail, which has to be good, and the carbon generation that is required to keep doing your process. So this is a simple example that we have taken, but if you look at this from a different perspective, let's say a crude unit, you are going to get crude oil, you are going to have the fractionation unit, you are going to get your reformer, diesel, desulfuration and transformation of that FCC cracker. So it's the same idea that can be reused in many times. You can see here you are going to generate the elements, and these elements are going to contain the total electricity consumption, total water consumption, whatever your key variables, and you're going to be able to aggregate them as you go to every area of the plant based upon the operating modes, which are calculated for these generic variables, and that's why it's called a template, because these variables are in a unit template that you apply to every area of your plant. So here it shows you the concept of, are we on target or not? And then you get your target, you get your metadata, which is how you purpose every element for your unit template to work. And then you collect the data, put all those tags there, and it gives you an event data classification for which you can do improvement, operational insight, you can do predictive models, you can generate notifications, and of course, get the system to generate notifications so you can get the people to help you from maintenance, or send it to management or to your metallurgical engineers. So the operation becomes very proactive in doing actionable information. The step 2 is where we are going to go into reality, and I'm going to share here with you what we call our demo, which can be put together through an XML file. You just load it in your computer and you are going to have this running immediately. There is nothing that you need to do, just configure the new tags on your system based upon this automatic simulation that we have created for you. So this is the overview, and this is a PyVision screen where we have characterized the different areas of the plant for this example. And each, as you can see, every unit is being checked by their operating condition, and in this case we got the flash flotation running okay, the rough flotation running okay, and we got a few red ones which are in trouble, meaning that they are not running to their specification, they're a little bit shy, and we got the running okay. The ones that in maintenance, we don't have any of those. We don't have anyone in idle, and we do have a few downs that for some reason they are scheduled, they have an unscheduled downtime. You can always move the time and go back in time and check. As you can see, the unit's behaviors are changing. You can put trends about that, and you can always get to see your data which is associated to the specific thing if you need. I'm going to go now and inspect what's going on with our rougher flotation, and then here we are going to see, and the data is going to come up for this specific display, and this one is running fine. This is the past 8 hours with your production feed rate. You remember the same naming convention is being applied to every area of your plant, and this becomes very important when you want to do analysis of the whole plant. So as you can see here, we got this unit is running okay. We got the total electricity consumption, the total water consumption, and the air consumption, and it's running fine. But what happened in the past? Where are with these issues that you can see in the plant? Let's look at this trouble mode, which is becoming critical, and that might lead you to a downtime. So basically, you just touch here and you go into this very sophisticated screen automatically. This is out of the box. You don't have to configure anything. You just configure the event with PyIF and event frames, and it will give you this screen that is going to go and search for all the information associated with that element. So this is the context and also the time context, as we call it. So as you can see here, we have the event, and it shows you the data. In this case, we got the electricity, the process feed rate, and the water consumption. And you can see here the water consumption for that event is costing you 4,000 cubic meters per hour of water. It's costing you 5,950 watts per hour. And you get to see here all the details. And this is just an example, so we don't have a lot of information because it's just using a few sets of random tags and simulation to show the concept. The important thing is that when someone has to that critical moment, they can go here and add additional comments. You can attach information, and you can send an email, so you can do some Pareto analysis later on and do some problem solving as you move on to the thing. The other important thing that I would like to share with you is that you can click on your trouble mode again, and you can compare by type. This is very interesting, this other view of this data, because you can see the Gantt chart of all your states and operational state of the plant. And again, you can see for that condition this data in different forms and shapes. As you can see here, you can see the production rate as well. And this becomes very important to identify some patterns that you might have, and use this later on, as I'm saying, to do what we call machine learning. So this becomes kind of a preamble for classifying the data before you do the modeling, which will be our third step into getting to this idea. And one important thing is that I'm going to go back to our main screen, and here we got the main screen is this one that we started from the very beginning. And you can move again to any other area, and I wanted to share to you today this Cortana idea, because now the data we can extract it from Pi using the SQL Commander, and there are many types here. This is the way that we have been showing it to people, so you can see this the whole tree from your AF becomes available. So this is Power BI, a very important tool that comes with the Microsoft Stack, and you can connect this very easily through PyODBC and get the PyAF and all the event frames available. You can add graphics, many options. This is running on the cloud, so you can see it on your phone. And when you have it here, you can use Cortana, which is the artificial intelligence that Microsoft has provided to all of us. So you can do questions here, you can ask. So we want to know when we're losing money, how much we're doing. And here we give you automatically a Gantt chart for every area of your plant, showing you the different aggregated data. And these are the fields that you can see here. And in this right side corner, you can see that that's just an event frame. Asset, electricity, process, water, start, end time, mode, and duration, which is our typical. I'm going to show that in the second video on how you generate automatically this table that will be shown on Power Vision, in PyVision, and also on Power BI. And then we can go back and show you here that you have many ways to define these displays by using different type and shape and form. And I'm going to show you basically, you can look at our TechCom manual where we describe this with all the details that you might want to find out. I wanted to share here with you something that has been very important with our customers, which is called overall performance monitoring, where you can define for all the areas these states, and then you can classify and then have one number. So you count the number of units which are running okay, and then you are going to be 100%. If not, you are going to be either in trouble or maintenance, and then you are not going to be with 100% overall performance monitoring. But this is something that becomes extremely valuable because this is related to your total water consumption and which unit is using too much or too low. So you can also check by, you can see here by time, so you can classify, as you can see here by, we have also, you can classify by shift. You have here the time intervals. So there are many ways on how you can repurpose this event frame data with the PySystem. I hope this has been interesting for you. What we have done is that we will show you briefly on how you need to start from your process flow diagram, identify the elements, put this unit template, apply to all your elements that you define in your process flow diagram, and the system is going to start working immediately as soon as you put your tags in. But it's also help you to have this time of simulation so you can evolve and learn from it and get to experiment with the PySystem without really thinking that you are going to do any damage to anything. But this one really shows you, and this is again the screens that you can borrow and you can adapt them to yourself. You can generate new screens. This kind of summarizes what we have been doing. We have basically take the whole plant, use one cookie cutter approach, apply to every unit and do the overall production, energy consumption, and be able to identify the event frame for you to start engaging and sorting out why that happened. Thank you very much for your time, and we'll be seeing you very soon in our more deeper how the unit template looks like and how you create the event frame for this to happen in real time for you. Thank you very much for your time.